It's July 6th, 2024. Jennifer's at work. She has her kids at school. And this is my first full day at home alone, knowing that I might have cancer. Um, I'm sitting there in the house. I don't have any plans. All I have is just fear at this moment. Um, the house, it was just that day was just so super quiet, and it was, I've been hunting since I was 12 or 14 years old. I have thousands of hours in the woods. Most of that I spent alone, and had a lot of quiet time. Same way with fishing, had a lot of quiet time over the years. But the quiet I had in that house that day, it was just a different kind of a quiet. Um, I'm my mind again, is racing. I'm worried about, Jennifer and I and her kids and all the plans that we'd already made. I'm sitting there wondering, if I'm going to be here this time next year. Just another long day, Um, got through that day. Jennifer got home, kids got home. We started, having our evening, fixing supper, watching some TV and stuff. So, um, got through that day, and what I do next, I'm up at 2 a.m. And of course, what am I doing? I'm sitting in the dark on the couch in the living room. I've got my phone in my hand, and what am I doing with my phone? I'm searching cancer survival rates, because I just had to start getting some information. I had to start trying to figure something out. It was I searched alone, and I did it in the dark, because I was afraid if I saw something that was bad, I didn't want my reaction to be around Jennifer or the kids. So I kind of tried to keep that initially right there at the beginning. Tried to keep some of that stuff to myself, so they didn't have to see anything like that. As I started searching, the survival rates, I'm searching 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year. The numbers were getting very, very confusing. After a little while, everything just looked terrifying. But eventually, when I started kind of putting in more what my issue was with my bladder and what they had found so far, started kind of punching all that in. And then I started seeing some, 30 or 40% survival rates. And I saw that some men were going on afterwards and living a normal life. And boy, that was that was a little bit of a pick me up. I needed that. So I decided right then, if I can't control my diagnosis, then I sure as hell was going to try and control everything else, and so I just continued searching. I started searching, what could I do for myself, like diet, like fasting. I searched a lot about fasting, learned a lot about that, and I had no clue how good that can be for your body. I was looking at 24, 36, and 72 hour fastings. Some of those, like your 24-hour, maybe once a week, 36 or 72, maybe twice a month. It really knocks the inflammation down in your body, and inflammation causes, a lot of pain here and there, especially when we get older, So, yeah, I just started taking all that in. I was looking at different fruits I could consume that would help me with my bladder cancer, and found a ton of information on that. I've been on that, still on that, and I know that stuff helps me. My diet change has really helped me a lot. At 57 right now, I'm way stronger, have much more energy than I did at 45, and it was all diet change and the fasting. So after that, I still have, I'm waiting this 2 days for the urologist to call me. And boy, I tell you, that 2 days seemed like 2 months, you know. I just sitting there at home all day those 2 days, just waiting and waiting and waiting. Of course, I had phone calls coming in, and every time I'd look, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't the urologist, or at least I didn't think it was. You know, so they did call, and we got the appointment scheduled. It was going to be about 2 weeks out or so. So, you know, that was waiting that 2 weeks. That was like 20 years, you know, waiting for that 2 weeks to get by. Every day I'm home alone. You know, just all these thoughts going through my mind constantly, you know. It was a tough time. I'm not going to lie at all about that. You know, so the day came for my appointment, and now Jennifer's going there with me. So now I'm not going to do this alone. That was very important for me. You know, so we had a long drive over there. It was about 45-minute drive, and we were really just kind of quiet, you know. Everybody, I guess, we're just kind of sitting there thinking, what's going to happen? What are we going to find out? So we get over there, and, you know, I'm a little early because I'm always early. I'm early for everything. That's just the way I roll. Get over there a little bit early and spend a few minutes out in the parking lot, and I was just trying to, you know, get my emotions right, get my strength up, and, you know, get my mindset where I'm going to go in here, we're going to do this, we're going to find out what's going on, and then move on. And of course, you know, I go in there, I filled out some paperwork, you know, at the front desk, and then we sit down, we wait probably, I don't know, 15 minutes, wasn't real long. Then finally, you know, here come a nurse. She caught me and she said, follow me back to the exam room, and we're going to perform that scope procedure. So, you know, it wasn't a long walk down that hallway, but boy, it sure seemed like it. And wow, it was a scary walk. I knew right then I'm going to find out one way or the other right now. Pretty good idea what's going to be going on and what's probably going to happen in the future. Get down there, get in that room, that little exam room, and it's a little bitty room. You know, there's a big TV screen in there, and she gets me, you know, set up for when the urologist, when the doctor comes in, and he comes in and looks at my paperwork and asks me some questions and stuff, and tell me what to expect, you know, what the procedure he's fixing to do, which is, you know, shove this camera up into my bladder. First time I'd had anything like that done before. I mean, oh my God, my heart was lying on that table, my heart's just racing. So he got it in there, and as he's starting to get it up in my bladder, he asked me, do you want to watch this on, you know, on the screen with us? And I was like, no, I think I'll pass on that. You just explain to me what you found. So yeah, he put it up in there, and as soon as he got that up in there, I could feel it, you know, I could tell, I could feel that in my bladder. It's really the first time I felt anything in my bladder, so that was a strange feeling. And he made a little grimace. He was like, And I noticed, because I'm laying there and I'm looking straight up, you know, at both of them. I had him on one side, the nurse on the other side. And when he did that, the nurse looked right at him, and I could tell by the look on her face. And after that little grimace that he made, that, you know, I'm not going to get good news here. And again, I mean, my heart's just racing. Now I've got sweat, you know, kind of breaking out, busting out, little beads of sweat on my forehead. It was quite a terrifying time. So he pulled that thing out, and he told me, he says, well, you're full of tumors, and they've been there for a while, and chances are very highly those are cancerous. Asked me about my insurance. Told him, you know, we'll have to see. We'll take a look at it. We'll have to see. But you know, I don't know. So I leave that room. Now I'm walking back up down that hallway back up to the, you know, the reception area, the front desk. Wow, that was a long, long walk, because I know Jennifer's sitting out there, and she's going to see the look on my face and the look in my eyes, and she's going to know. I'm not even going to have to say anything to her. And as soon as I walked out there, opened up that door and walked out into that waiting room, I mean, boy, it hit me. I was upset just right then and there. No hiding it, you know, and there's the kids with us, and boy, I didn't want them to see that. So, you know, I'm fighting hard to hold that back, and I spoke with the lady there at the desk, the administrator. She takes care of everything, and boy, when she realized, you know, they weren't going to be able to help me, she looked at my insurance. She said, we're just not going to be able to do anything for you. She says, and she seen me, I was upset. She says, you know, but you hang in there. She says, hang on a minute. I'm going to get you some information and get you the information you need for someone that can help. And it'll be down there in Columbia, Missouri at the Ellis Fissel Cancer Center. So she got me all the info I needed. And boy, I tell you, that lady really helped me with the info she gave me and the few things she said afterwards. So I really do appreciate her. So, you know, that was the end of that day. The end of my appointment was done. We headed back home. It was another quiet ride home, and we had our evening. And that's you know, that's kind of where I'll end this video, and then we'll get the next video. We'll get started up back where we left off here today, which will be, you know, my first visit down to Columbia at the Ellis Fissel Cancer Center. And then the wait in between and everything that happened in between trying to get to that appointment that first day. You just won't believe what all happened to me. But, you know, I got through it and I'm here today. So thanks for everybody watching. Can't wait to come back and tell you the rest of my story. It's going to be a long series. There's going to be several different chapters to it. And so I look forward to everyone, you know, just, you know, hearing what I got to say. And especially for those that were like me at 2 o'clock in the morning, just found out something and they're looking for help out there. I couldn't find a lot of that for myself, so I want to be a guy that maybe they can find on YouTube and maybe calm them down a little bit, give them some hope, you know. So, all right, so thank you.